Postal, one of the most sick and twisted games of all time, is back. This time as a DLC for the boomer shooter Postal Brain Damaged called These Sunny Days. And let me tell ya, it's just as sick and twisted as the prior games. Killing Chad meme guys? Check. Having a shotgun that shoots canned hot dogs? Check. Gay black sailors shooting hearts from their ass? Check. Killing the president and infiltrating the Tesla headquarters? Double check. Broski, super welcome to yet another motherflippin' brutal video. My name is, as always, good old Papa Slim, and I'm here to make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside and dig out the FPS games out of the FPS games. So you don't have to do the digging, only the playing. Now, let's dive into these sunny days.
Relaxation at last. No chores, no list of stuff to do, just me, myself, and my guns. Having a good time.
The game is set to release on the 9th of September, which should be the day that this video drops. And I think it's only going to drop for Steam. I'm not 100% sure there, but I think it's only Steam. And of course, it's a DLC for Postal Brain Damage, which means that you need the base game to be able to play this one. It's been developed by Hyperstrange and Creative Forge Games, and published by Running with Scissors and Hyperstrange. It's a linear style type of game, where you follow a campaign, and there is no multiplayer, no co-op, no anything like that, just as in the base game, so I didn't really expect there to be anything like that. Unfortunately though, I have no information on the price yet, so I cannot comment on that, but I would guess personally that it's going to be a $9-ish DLC, but I hope it's a little bit cheaper than that. Let me explain why. Let's begin with the story. So it takes place after the base game. Now the postal guy is on a bit of a vacation with his weapons. You know, the weapons, the only thing that actually understands him. While laying there on the beach, he has his radio next to him, and all of a sudden the brand new president has an announcement. All gingers needs to be fucking killed. Why? Because they are the source of all evil, which we all know is not true. Gingers, they rule, and they should be ruling the whole motherflipping world. But they do not, because they are so motherflipping powerful that everyone is afraid of them. So naturally, the president tells everyone to kill all the gingers. He has started, a special operations to kill them. As the postal guy looks away, he notices that all his weapons has been stolen. So he goes after everyone and kills everyone in his way just to get his weapons back. And that will take us through the beaches, through hotels, through cruise ships, and eventually to the White House, where some sick twists and turns happens that I'm not going to spoil for you. Overall though, the story is presented by one cutscene at the very start of the DLC and one at the end. Then you have like 2 or 3 sentences in between levels, but they essentially just tell you, hey, now we're going on a cruise ship, hey, now you made it to the White House. It doesn't add anything to the story at all, which is a little bit of shame, because I think that the base game did it really well, with a lot of cutscenes, a lot of environmental storytelling. This DLC just doesn't really follow along with that. Now, gameplay-wise, it is your very Postal Brain Damage type of game. However, we don't get to play with our old weapons because they were stolen, as you know. Only weapon that we get to play from the base game is the Tesla gun. Other than that, we have a brand new melee weapon in the form of a drill that has an umbrella, which you can protect yourself with. Then we have a water gun that shoots piss. Yeah. Piss. Then we have a shotgun in the form of a can opener that shoots canned hot dogs. And then a brand new assault rifle in the form of a bubblegum machine. And last but not least, we got a brand new sniper that shoots toxic waste. They're cool weapons. They're cool as hell. I like them. They are wild, they are crazy, just like in the base game. However, the base game weapons feel so much better than the ones in the DLC. The ones in the DLC, they might just be a little bit more crazier than in the base game, but they don't feel as good playing with, unfortunately not. And I actually went back to playing Brain Damage, the base game, just to see if my memory was serving me right, and I can confirm, yes, the weapons in the base game are much more fun. Unfortunately, the same thing goes for the levels. The levels in the DLC, they are long. There's only 3 levels and then 1 boss, that's it, but 1 level takes up to 30 to 40 minutes to finish. And the boss, it only took 3 minutes. But having one map taking 40 minutes, they eventually start to feel dragged out. There is some variety to the levels. Like in the first level as an example, you go through the beach, you eventually end up in a hotel. So the variety is there, but it still manages to feel a bit dragged out. Like you encounter the same type of enemies when you're in a level throughout the level, and you just kind of feel like, oh, okay, I want to be done with this level now. The base game did more levels in the same area, but shorter. And that just feels better. It feels like, oh, I completed this one. Just feels much better doing it like that than having one long, dragged out level taking 40 minutes. And the enemy encounters throughout the DLC is unfortunately not as good as in the base game either. As an example, you enter a room, there are plenty of pickups. You know, okay, shit's about to go down. So you pick up everything that you can, you're maxed out. You start the first encounter. There's 30 enemies that needs killing. Of course they will drain your health. You pick up all the remaining pickups that you can, and finally you kill the last guy. You're like, whew, okay, that was a sweaty fight. Now there's no more pickups left. You push a button, boom, 40 more enemies spawn in, which ultimately makes it really, really hard, but also feels like it's unfair in a way. Like you have enough pickups for one encounter like that, you don't have enough pickups for two encounters like that. If they're gonna spawn in more enemies, spawn in more pickups as well. And it also makes it feel like that arena is dragged out. And sure, similar things happen in the base game, but it was much more current in the DLC. And the overall design of everything, even the combat encounters, is much more fun in the base game than in the DLC, unfortunately. And in total, the game takes about 3 hours to finish, maybe even 2 if you're fast. There is a little bit of replayability if you want to find all the codex entries, all the secrets, maybe get a faster time, maybe try it on a harder difficulty, but there is no new endless mode or anything like that. However, the base game has received a level editor and crazy things like that, which you will ultimately have if you get the DLC because you need the base game. Presentation wise, I think the game goes just as wild as in the base game. It's just as crazy. The audio is, I hate to say it, but it's not as good. The base game had this metal track going. It had felt like it had more dynamic music. In the DLC, you just have this mellow tone throughout. Each level has its own mellow tone. It's like a vacation tune. No matter how much the combat amps up, it's just the same mellow tone. And you're looking for a secret, when you're looking for a button to press, when you're doing platforming puzzling, it's just the same mellow tone. Really a missed opportunity to crank it up there. But other than that, the graphics are the same. The enemy designs, they're just as crazy as in the base game. The weapon designs are just as crazy as well, although I think that the weapons, you should be able to change the FOV on them. You can change the FOV in the game, but the weapons, they remain the same. And take the bubble assault rifle as an example, it's huge. It takes up a good chunk of your screen, and you can't make it smaller, which is a bit of an annoyance because that was my favorite new weapon, but I hated to use it because I couldn't see anything when using it. So to make this quick, let me conclude it. The DLC, it's fun. It is not as good as the base game, but at the same time, the base game is excellent. It's a fantastic boomer shooter. But unfortunately, the DLC cannot hold up to the base game. Not in terms of the story, not in terms of the combat, not in terms of the weapons, and not in terms of the level design. However, if you do crave more postal brain damage, the DLC, it delivers more postal brain damage, just in a little bit lesser quality. It should still tingle the balls in the right way if you're craving more postal. Now that was a little quick dive into the postal DLC. Unfortunately, I do not have the time to make a longer video because the Brutal Indies Unleashed is going live on September the 12th, and I have a shit ton of work to do before that. So I will see you on the 12th. Papa Slim, over and out.